Howdy folks, Divine Feminine Channel Tarot here. I'm finally on camera. I have a little makeup on, so I feel more confident showing my face. Even though I'm getting older by the second. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, drop a thumbs up, a comment. I will respond to you. Thanks for watching, and again, hope your new year is going well. All right, soulmates and separation reading. We've got two different people here. I'm just going to call them soulmate number 1 and then soulmate number 2. So let's see what we've got, and pre-shuffled, and we'll see. So soulmate number 1, what's on their mind? Disrupted. Something that once felt clear has been thrown off course, whether by timing, energy, or outside influence. What was flowing now feels unstable. This isn't the end, but it is a call to pause and reassess. Interference, shift, unstable, redirection. Okay, so soulmate number 1, could be going through job upheaval. I always feel like these two people are in separation, but thinking about each other. But it seems like soulmate number 1's life is kind of a mess right now. Forgiven. You may never hear the apology, but spirit saw your heart. You've been released from what they won't admit. So soulmate number 1 feels like they need an apology from the other person. Release, peace, healing, and closure. And maybe that's what was disrupted. Like the relationship between these two people just kind of fell off the wayside, and words were not spoken. Okay, and it just kind of ended awkwardly. Soul contracts. Some bonds were signed before birth, written in spirit, sealed in purpose. What's unfolding now may be part of a promise made long ago. Agreement, purpose, lessons, completion. Maybe this is the ending of a soul contract as far as soulmate number 1 is concerned. Not only do they feel like they need an apology, but they've already forgiven the other person. And I don't know, they may have just moved on, but let's see what the tarot says. Yeah, 6 of Cups. With this card reversed, I'm getting the two of you could have grown up together, known each other since you were small children. It could be the boy or girl next door story. And it was always known that the two of you would fall in love when you got older. But now, the happy days, 6 of Cups reversed is like, the memories are bittersweet. And now that soulmate number 1 kind of feels like the soul contract is fulfilled, they're not so hot on this relationship anymore. Yeah, they've lost, Page of Wands reversed, they've lost their excitement for it, their enthusiasm. I'm getting that soulmate 1 has not reached out, or, I just like thinking of soulmate 2 just kind of gives them a bad feeling. For a while, soulmate 1, Virgo energy, needed to go into isolation, solitude. They probably needed to get over this. So whatever happened between these two people, soulmate number 1 took it really hard and just kind of needed to take a break from the world. But with the Hermit reverse is coming out of that. 7 of Wands, soulmate number 1 always felt like they had to defend themselves, and it was constant fighting, and, there was, I don't know, one or both of these people always had to be right. And maybe soulmate number 1 feels that number 2 is very controlling, pushy, always has to come out on top. Yeah, this was not easy for soulmate 1 to get over this and process this separation. So they still think about it. They're not anywhere near, reaching out or let's be friends, or I don't know. They just kind of seem off in their own little world. The Hierophant reversed is Taurus energy, and soulmate number 1 may feel that number 2 engages in things that are unconventional relationships, maybe doesn't want to get married, maybe number 1 doesn't want to get married or doesn't want to do the conventional route. Maybe that could have been a huge sticking point between the two of you. But whatever it is, this is just non-traditional. Maybe your morals and values after a certain age just did not line up anymore. And that's a huge problem. It's like a crevasse between the two of you. Yeah, sun reversed, Leo energy. Ouch. This relationship left a really bad taste in soulmate number one's mouth. They don't have any happiness for it. I feel like with sun reversed, all the truths are known and there's nothing else to hide. Yeah, Eight of Cups reversed. Soulmate number one isn't going to budge. Not coming out of no contact, and has gone their separate ways. And maybe as far as soulmate number one is concerned, this truly is over. Our connection is special, unlike any other I've ever had. Okay, maybe getting a little sentimental. You have no idea what you've done to me. So, yeah. And maybe, again, with that hermit card in the deck, even though it's reversed, soulmate number one took this very, very hard and really needed to go into hiding for a while. Our connection is different, right? Oh, okay. I'm cleaning up my life, addictions, karmics, and third parties. So perhaps soulmate number one is the person that engages in a little bit looser relationships, less defined boundaries with people, and that could have been like a huge problem. But for whatever reason, I'm getting now with this card, I'm getting like kind of a victim mentality from soulmate number one that, they expected number two to understand all their little idiosyncrasies. And, even though they don't do relationships in a traditional way, they expected with this soul contract and deep connection that somehow soulmate number two would understand. But let's see what soulmate number two's got. Spirit guide, you're not alone. Your spirit guide has always been sending signs, nudges, and dreams to help you realign. Slow down and listen. They're guiding you back to your purpose. Whisper, compass, intercessor, and guidance. So it sounds like already soulmate number two went through some kind of spiritual awakening. Placeholder, maybe number two felt like, if soulmate number one has third parties and all kinds of people on their roster, soulmate number two could have felt like a placeholder. Sometimes we stay in roles, places, or patterns that were only meant to be temporary. Spirit is nudging you to release what no longer fits and make space for what's truly aligned. Transition, misalignment, growth, and space. They know who you are, okay? And soulmate number one said as much. You were special. We've got this soul contract. Spirit revealed you long ago. They just pretended not to see it. So if soulmate number one's got addictions and karmics and third parties and life is a hot mess, they're unstable, they may not have been willing to admit or have an honest conversation with soulmate number two about understanding, even though it says our connection is special, it's unlike anything I've ever had. I'm beginning to wonder if soulmate number one never said those things to number two. Recognition, denial, awareness, avoidance. Okay, so let's see what the tarot says. Ooh, Eight of Cups reversed. Okay, we've got a situation, no one's budging, okay? Soulmate number two isn't coming back. Soulmate number one isn't coming back. It's a standoff. It's a WWF SmackDown. Truths were spoken, and if soulmate number one reaches out to number two, they're going to get the Queen of Swords, okay? They're going to get the truth. It's going to be blunt. It could be harsh. Not as harsh as the King of Swords, but still. And Queen of Swords is very independent, but really, really grounded in the truth, She says, okay, with that hand outstretched, come on over and talk to me, but soulmate number one is going to get an earful. Soulmate number two has been concentrating on, and this could be interesting, like soulmate number two could have been like the Queen of Swords. Number one was more interested in material things, like the King of Pentacles that came in. But also this could mean that soulmate number 2 wants somebody reliable, grounded, stable, somebody that has a good job and would be a good provider. Or soulmate number 2 is doing that for themselves and they don't need any help. Yeah, something about the control, and I was picking up that energy. Emperor reversed, Aries energy. Soulmate number 2 kind of felt like number 1 was domineering, tyrannical, way too controlling and stubborn, and just would not give in. Again, I've already said we've got like a standoff. Yeah, 4 of Swords. Mum's the word. So, soulmate number 2 is not talking, okay? 4 of Swords, they're resting, they're focusing on other areas of their life. A Strength card. And it's taking a lot of strength for soulmate number 2 to stay away from number 1. But this is Leo, and it's taking everything soulmate number 2 has got. So I feel like soulmate number 2 is more stoic, keeps things to themselves. They're better at hiding their emotion. But it's like soulmate number 1 isn't fooled because they know this person really well. I think both people got the 9 of Swords. So both are still very upset, not sleeping well, having nightmares about each other, and still not over what happened. King of Pentacles reversed. Interesting. Maybe the soulmate number 1 fell from grace, lost a lot of money, or once they were making money, it started to go toward addictions and like this really, deviant lifestyle, or just not the same lifestyle that interests soulmate number 2, and non-traditional things, parties, who knows. But I still love you, and it's driving me crazy because I don't want to. I'm at a loss for words. Yeah, that's why there's no talking. Whatever happens, I will always love you. And then I love you eternally. So 2 they both have a lot of feelings for each other. I just pick up a more mature energy in soulmate number 2. And soulmate number 1, it sounds like they really need to, clean up their life and get their, what together, and start acting like a mature person. But it's pretty clear that soulmate number 2 has moved on, sort of. They still have feelings, but they're not going to express these feelings at this time. And who knows, maybe they pray for soulmate number 1, but it's kind of a disconnect right now. So you're still thinking about each other. You're still having dreams about each other, waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat about each other. But I'm getting it's just kind of a no contact situation where neither person is going to budge. So, but holidays have come and gone, and you're definitely thinking about each other. Good luck, soulmates in separation. Switch this around to fit. It's not going to be everybody's story, but thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.